That we're not trying to change each other. We're not trying to make him more like me, and he's not trying to make me more like him. But we're just understanding our differences, and hopefully, in understanding, we start to move closer to the center. Instead of being polar opposites, we start to come a little closer to the center, where I slow down my talking, he ramps up his elaborating.
Yeah. And that's where the work comes in a little bit.
Okay, Ron and I love this one.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw ourselves all over this. And I heard, Diane, I heard you agreeing at the amen corner. Yeah, I know.
Now, I'm wondering if she spoke for you though, Ron. Because guys in communication.
You know what? I'm definitely the internal processor and Anne's the external. It was just opposite all the way down the line.
All the way down the line.
By the way, we have Mike and Diane here, and we have Eric and Kara.
We're just so excited to start talking about it. It's so good. It is so good. Because I think we could all identify ourselves in that. Like you guys.
Yeah, I'm internal, 100%. External, 100%.
I'm an external fact-based minimizer that talks directly, but occasionally indirectly.
And it's funny how we marry the opposite.
Yeah, we do.
We marry the opposite because we're attracted to that person because they kind of fill in those blanks. Did you guys do that too?
Absolutely. I'm definitely the external. And
I'm the internal.
Yep. And
I'm facts-based and she's
Yes,
feeling-based.
And so that can always get interesting when I'm like, just feel what I feel and understand what I understand. And he's like, no, like, what are the facts of this situation? What's the other side of this? Yes, I know you're feeling this, but let's work it out. And I found through that.
I remember actually saying, let's put our feelings aside for now. And but like, and she's just like,
I'm like,
what did you just say? These are my feelings. And so I don't know. I'm still for 4 years in. I'm still learning that there are some things that I just cannot say.
Yes, and I've learned I can't always get offended when he said, let's put the feelings to the side, because really there are some facts that we need to discuss.
We need to focus on the facts.
Yeah, well, that's because that's the way his mind works.
Yeah.
He zeroes in on the facts and you zero in on the feelings.
Yes.
But I love what Cheryl said. It's not that one is right and one is wrong. It's just the way you're wired.
Right.
And as you understand that about each other, then you kind of like light bulbs go off. I know for us, it did, because then I realized, okay, I love when Cheryl said, so the external processor is talking and the internal processor is trying to absorb. And so he's
throwing things.
He's stuck.
I'm still processing.
He's way back here.
And she's on the next few
And
things.
I've taken that train all the way around the mountain and down but he's way back
But
here.
the thing you don't understand is that the facts make the feelings mute.
Come on.
A lot of times Mike is waiting for me to answer, and he's still talking, and I'm still just, I'm like, can you just let me think? I don't have an answer yet. I need to think. Let me think. Be quiet. Yeah.
And it can be a real cause of friction.
Yeah.
Because if you don't really understand this, that this different, and you don't really accept it, you just kind of, you know, the way you want to communicate, and you don't understand why they're not picking up on that. It's just frustrating.
Early on, I used to think that he didn't care. You know, he doesn't care what I'm talking about. He's not even responding. He's not giving me feedback. I'm not getting anything out of him. I'm just talking, and he's just sitting there like this. But little did I know that he's in the middle of this huge, Rubik's Cube puzzle in his brain, trying to figure out what I'm saying and how to respond to what I'm saying.
And probably thinking through the scenarios. Okay, if I say this, she might react this way, or maybe I do it this way. And in the meantime, she's farther down the road, and she thinks I don't care. But that doesn't mean that I don't try to empathize and connect with her feelings, because I've learned, and watching A Better Us other episodes, we talk about how you need to communicate and open the dialogue and to try to enter in and to empathize and feel with the other person. But it's it still doesn't come naturally. It's got to put some work into it.
For years, I would just shut down. Like, I would just, and he would tell me all the time, we have to communicate. You need to talk. But I couldn't. I was like, well, how do I talk if you do all the talking? You're not listening to me, and you don't care what I have to say. So I would shut down, not say one word, and then he would think, well, you don't care, you're not talking to me. But it wasn't. It was just because I didn't know how to process everything so quickly.
Just talk to me, baby.
I can't process it. It's too much information.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? One of her biggest words that she would use quite often to me,
gonna say?
and still every once in a while,
I still
is
use
the
this
word
word.
elaborate. Honey, elaborate. So I just kind of answer the question, and I get to the facts.
We're too much alike.
I know.
And then
you
she
guys
said,
are
"Come
too
on,
much
I need
alike.
more. That's all you're gonna give me."
I don't know if you find this, but when you're in the car on a long car ride, that's when we talk. We talk a lot because it's just the two of us. We got a long drive ahead of us, and so I will open up and I'll start talking and sharing, and I've poured out my heart on a subject or whatever, and I look at Ron, and he's driving, and he says, "Mm-hmm." That's all I get.
It's like when you get a response from a long text, just okay.
Exactly.
It's like okay.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why I say, honey, elaborate. Come on, give me more.
And then I got
Because
to
it
come up
dig
with
deep.
the words, and that is work. But I guess marriage can be work sometimes, and it's a good
worth
thing.
it. It's worth it.
When I more seriously reflect about the points that they make when we talk about external versus internal, and feelings versus facts, minimizing more, or magnifying. When I think about those things, what I love is not so much that we've developed terms for them and we communicate differently, but as we walk through those things, we actually realize that, we recognize ourselves in those things, right? And so we're actually able to see and identify. So as we learn and grow and become a better us, right? Having these kinds of learnings when we have, people like this who can kind of talk about it and kind of really capsulize it for us, gives us a chance to walk through and to see ourselves in the things that we do, and kind of helps to coach us to get better.
100%.
And you see that, okay, I'm not the only one that has these issues in marriage. Like there's others out there. And the aha moment saying, okay, this is good. I've learned something about myself and about my spouse, and we'll work on that. But these types of discussions
They're good.
it's really what a better us is all about.
Yeah, we really enjoyed watching them with this teaching, because when they were talking about the facts and that stuff, like we looked at each other as like, oh, that's what that meant, because Kara would come to me with a discussion with one of her friends, and then she would tell me what her opinion on the fact was. She'd tell me her friend's opinion, and then I would say, yeah, you had some good thoughts, but she had really good thoughts here too. And she's like, wait, so you're taking her side? And I'm like, no, like my feelings aren't taking anyone's side. I'm just laying out the facts here. It was an aha moment when we were watching this teaching. So
That explains it.
we really
get
enjoyed it. I'm not taking sides.
I think the point is, from Neil and Cheryl, is to understand our differences. That we're not trying to change each other. We're not trying to make him more like me, and he's not trying to make me more like him. But we're just understanding our differences, and hopefully, in understanding, we start to move closer to the center. Instead of being polar opposites, we start to come a little closer to the center, where I slow down my talking, he ramps up his elaborating.
And that's where the work comes in a little bit. So
but it's worth it.
it is. This is good stuff.
And I think it's a good combination. Not only are we understanding our differences, we're understanding ourselves and the little things that we do that we can change.
That's it.
So.
That's it.
All right. Well,
stuff.
stay with us. There is more A Better Us coming up.
Doctor told me yesterday that I need to start closing the filing cabinet in the evenings. She says, and when you close it, I need you to lock it. I need you to shut everything off, right? Because you need to decompress.